What I think is really interesting is that the pressure that consumer finance and spending has managed to put on this budget. So Martin Lewis is becoming a household name now. I saw he got an award the other night for the journalism award, and he has directly influenced some of this budget. The child benefit, high income tax charge changes were most definitely driven by him. I mean, he had a call from Rishi Sunak before the budget to tell him that it was the pressure from his show that had made that change. So it's just interesting to see the government listening to opinion, and he seems to become a voice of the people. So regardless of your views on him as an individual, I actually think he's achieved quite a lot for the public within this budget. So I suppose a natural place to start for me probably is with the high income child benefit changes. Because of the fact, if out of anything, that budget that has been driven by Martin Lewis. So effectively, the rules we've had to date are that anyone earning more than £50,000 and up to a ceiling of £60,000 would have lost their child benefit over the course of those £10,000 of earnings. The rules have always been considered very unfair because you could have two households earning £49,000, with virtually £100,000 worth of income, and they would have their full child benefit, versus a single income household earning £60,000 who get no child benefit. Where they didn't go, and I know this was a big hope for the budget, is that they'd go to this, as opposed to addressing one individual house, they're going to look at joint household income. And I definitely think, it was said in the budget that is a place they're looking to get to.
For April 2026, aren't they?
That was
it'll be interesting to see how they actually work that through. At the moment is historically what we've in the past we've had quite a few clients where husband and wife have both been earning and they've both been wanting to earn sort of sub the 50,000 between each, because there's obviously that ceiling that once they go over the 50,000 they start losing the job benefit. It just seemed on its original inception it was a very almost at times ill thought out plan, really. They're almost penalised at that point. It felt like they were penalising the hard working family and stuff like that.
Working families for sure. If you think of the sort of traditional, you have children and someone stays at home to bring up the kids and someone works, it's always punished that family, and there's a lot more that can be done to help working families. This is definitely a step in the right direction. Effectively now they've moved the threshold from £50,000 to £60,000, and the rate at which you lose that will be less. So the lower limit is 60,000, the upper limit is 80,000. So the bracket is much bigger.
So you've got a lot more sort of playroom. So instead of for every £100 over the 50 over the bottom threshold, you lose 1%. It's now every £200 over, you lose that 1%, which it does help a bit. But then again, it will be interesting to see what thresholds they put in for the household toasters, and again how they're going to actually police that as well. So which I think that's probably going to play into the making tax digital for income. The
visibility there. I think one point I'd always make to anyone is that even if you aren't eligible for child tax benefit, if you do earn more than £60,000, it is important to still claim it and either not receive the income or to have the income taxed back off you as part of your self-assessment. The reason being is that it still gives you a credit for your national insurance toward your state pension. So, and it's not uncommon that we see in households that you've got somebody out there working, earning £60,000 a year, claiming child benefit in their name, when in their relationship their spouse is at home and they're not earning and they're not claiming child benefit. And in that situation, you've effectively got someone at home who's not getting a credit towards it. So it's really important at whose name you claim child benefit in as well. So, just an opportunity for everyone to make sure that they're doing that within their family.
And definitely as well, because if they're not getting the national insurance credits at that point, they've then got to look at class 3s, which are historically quite expensive, really. You're looking at £17 to £20 per week for that year to backfill, which is, if you can get the credits for free, and then even to the point of having the child benefit paid into a bank account, and then just transfer that straight into a savings account. So at the end of the year, you've got to pay it back to the tax office. You've still got those credits for that earner or for that non-earner in the family sort of thing. So
I would say probably the last point with child benefit. I mean, I think we could both agree it's a positive move.
Yeah.
I think they do need to look at how they apply it to a family. I think that's going to be really important. Whether they looked at the lowest earner in the house, but we'll see if they're going to be that generous. The other point that's always been there in the past, and hopefully I think will be there in the future, there's no reason why it wouldn't be, but it's using pension contributions. So really simple exercise. If you're someone who earned £55,000 a year under the old rules, and you were losing half of your child benefit, you could set up a salary sacrifice arrangement with your workplace, give up £5,000 of your salary and have that paid directly into a pension. And in doing that, you would then be entitled to reclaim your whole child benefit. It's a rule that I'd like to think most people know now, but we still see it time and time again where people aren't aware they can do that. And I would say that the marginal rate of tax relief when you're doing that is about 60%. So it's an absolutely huge saving, and it's one of those ways pensions can work in your favour. But appreciating the fact that obviously the stress and pressure that families are under with the cost of living and things like that is is not always a solution if you need that income. But it's just something worth noting, I think.
But likewise with that as well. If you're entitled to expenses through your work as well, you can, if you've had to buy tools and stuff like that you're actually entitled to claim that expense back, or the tax allowance for that expense back from your income. Again, that can help reduce down your threshold for child income or child benefit charge and stuff like that as well. So